In the scorching summer of 2018, deep in the dust-choked landscape just outside Laredo, Texas, a man named Jake made a decision that would forever change him. Freshly divorced and seeking refuge from the noise of city life, he sank his savings into a dilapidated ranch. The place was practically a giveaway, a forgotten plot of land with a crumbling cabin and a whole lot of nothing. Jake figured the worst he'd have to deal with were rattlesnakes and the kind of profound quiet that settles over the desert after sundown. He was wrong. His very first night, as the last rays of light bled from the sky, something stirred on the far side of his barbed wire fence. It wasn't an animal Jake recognized. It rose slowly, deliberately, onto two legs, its form silhouetted against the bruised purple horizon. It was impossibly tall, far taller than any man, and it threw its head back and unleashed a howl. This wasn't the cry of a coyote or a wolf. It was a guttural, earth-shaking roar that vibrated through the floorboards and rattled the cabin windows as if a freight train were thundering past just inches away. In that single, terrifying moment, Jake understood a chilling truth. His only neighbor, a weathered old recluse named Harlan, was guarding secrets far older and darker than the land itself. The strangeness didn't stop with that first howl. It began to seep into Jake's daily life, like a slow poison. At dawn, he'd find enormous paw prints pressed deep into the parched earth around his property. Prints far too large for any known predator in the region. He started losing livestock, a goat here, a few chickens there. But they weren't eaten. They were found dead, their bodies untouched by teeth or claws, as if something had simply scared the life right out of them. And then there was the smell, a heavy, musky scent, primal and unsettling, that would drift across the fence line whenever the wind shifted from the direction of Harlan's property. Convinced it had to be a stray bear or an unusually bold pack of coyotes, Jake decided to get proof. He bought a couple of trail cameras and set them up, aimed at the fence and the mysterious tracks. He half expected, half hoped to catch grainy footage of some ordinary animal. What he got instead stopped his heart. Clicking through the night vision photos, he saw it. The footage showed old man Harlan, plain as day, walking out into the pale moonlight. But then, something impossible happened. He watched, frame by agonizing frame, as Harlan's shoulders began to hunch and broaden. His limbs seemed to stretch, contorting and elongating in a grotesque, unnatural transformation. The old man's familiar shape dissolved, melting away into a towering, upright form that stood like a person but moved with the terrifying, fluid grace of something born of the wild. The full moon became a marker of escalating dread. Each month the phenomena grew bolder, more aggressive. The low, guttural growls that had once been distant now circled his small cabin at night, so close he could almost feel the vibration in his chest. New claw marks would appear on the wooden walls of his home, each set higher than the last, as if whatever was out there was testing the structure, measuring it. Jake's only companion, his loyal dog Buster, became a barometer for the terror. After one particularly loud night, Buster came home trembling, with 3 fresh, parallel scratches laid open across his side. He wasn't just scared, he was wounded. The breaking point arrived one morning. A new set of claw marks had appeared on the porch door itself. That day, Buster refused to leave the porch. He lay flat, ears pinned back, his body a coiled spring of fear. He just stared, unblinking, toward Harlan's dark, silent property, a low whimper caught in his throat. It was a look of pure, instinctual terror. Buster understood something that Jake's logical mind was still desperately trying to deny. The monster wasn't just visiting, it was closing in. The final night Jake ever spent on that ranch is seared into his memory. The air was thick and still, charged with an oppressive energy. He was inside, shotgun resting across his lap, when a deafening crash splintered the night. The thing that used to be Harlan had slammed its full weight against the porch railing, snapping the old wood like a twig. Jake scrambled to the window and saw it. 2 yellow eyes, burning with a cold, ancient intelligence, stared back at him from the darkness. Then a voice, rough as gravel and twisted with inhuman resonance, tore through the silence. "This land remembers its own," it rasped. "Leave while you still walk on 2 legs." Pure, unadulterated terror took over. Jake didn't hesitate. He grabbed his shotgun, firing 2 deafening warning shots into the oppressive dark. He didn't wait to see if it flinched. He just ran. He burst out the back door, sprinted to his truck, and didn't stop driving until the sun began to rise, painting the eastern sky and illuminating the highway in front of him. He called a realtor from the road and sold the ranch for whatever cash they'd offer. No questions asked. He just wanted to be free of it. Jake never went back. He never even looked at a map of that part of Texas again. But the story doesn't quite end there. Local legends have a long memory. Late-night truckers who drive the lonely stretch of Highway 83 still share stories over crackling CB radios. They talk about a tall, dark silhouette that sometimes emerges from the scrub brush and appears in their headlights. They say it keeps pace with their rigs, running alongside them with an unnerving, loping gait. And they all mention the eyes-to glowing coals that watch and wait, as if the ranch is still hungry, still looking for someone new, someone willing to stay. So, a word of caution. If you ever find yourself drawn to a piece of cheap land in South Texas, a place that feels a little too quiet, a little too forgotten, pay attention to the warnings. If your dog starts growling at the full moon for no reason, if the night air carries a strange, musky scent you can't quite place, trust your instincts. Trust the silence, because some neighbors don't need an invitation to come calling. And some fences were never built to keep things out. They were just a reminder of what was already inside. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Stay safe out there.